Alright, click the links to join the channel here over at Subscribestar or now over at Odyssey. Thanks everyone over there. I got a mailbox, want to mail me some comics. So Lord of the Rings, but not really in any shape or form. This video is going to be offensive to SJW soy boy panty sniffing pussies. Please don't watch it. You'll just end up getting upset and leaving a long, like paragraphs of snarky comments when I'm just upfront telling you that because of your pussy nature, you'll be offended. And really, the issue is not me. I think I'm doing awesome. The issue is that you got to stop being such a bleeding vagina and virtue signaling over things that just really aren't that important. Insert meme of the cranky cat face as a first panel. We've updated the modern retelling of Rings of Power with diversity and representation. The next panel, the cranky cat. I hate diversity. And I do. More and more people just need to get out there and go, yeah, I'm just not on board with this. All this diversity and the feminism, cancer. Can I get the stories without that? And just, let the dust settle when they look at you and they're like, what? You're not supposed to say that. Yeah, I just hate diversity. I can't stand it. I think it ruins storytelling. I want to see the original stories as the artist intended. Can I get that? Listen, Hugo Boss. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's like it is pretty fashionable, but it's still not giving us what the customer wants. So I will say that actor does look evil. So it actually kind of might work. No, you can't say he looks evil because he's not blonde haired and blue eyed. That's what the globalist media brainwashed everyone to think. It's like the blonde hair blue eyed people. That's coded to be bad. It's like, but they're not. Blonde hair blue eyed people are freaking awesome. Sometimes, I mean, remember, kids, it's like we're not the problem. We were never the problem. We're the solution. Sometimes it really is that easy to just be honest about a lot of this kind of stuff and tell people what you're not on board with. Lord of the Rings is already a life in being, the alpha and omega. It has started and it has ended a long time ago. You can't add on to it. It's already finished. Any deviation is something that is not Lord of the Rings. Somebody said it was fan fiction written by not actual fans, but I'm going to add on, it feels like it was translated into Chinese, then back into American English poorly. Then the Amazon people read a summary of it, and they sat down with the other obese cat ladies. They did some cocaine and coffee and decided to make this abomination. First of all, I could write diverse stories without making it this cringe nonsense because I'm not politically correct. I can write non-Euro characters committing crimes and doing bad acts with the good guys being blonde and blue-eyed type of thing, where the SJWs are absolutely trapped by political correctness. If they try to do something where they take a POC of the Pox and they make him the bad guy, I mean, it wouldn't even get past editing. The guy would just look at it and go like, yeah, we just can't do that these days. But if it did, they'd be doxxed, immediately fired, and their house would be firebombed. I'm not saying I would write the opposite of what the SJWs do and just make the blonde man good all the time and the Pox bad. I would just treat the characters fairly. Hollywood, can you do that? Can you stop making the blue-eyed coded blonde hair blue-eyed code for bad? Can you just treat people fairly? That's a bridge too far. Anyway, that was a fantastic book. Like, you want to talk about building up suspense. Cornelius Ryan, I think, absolutely nailed it. Anyway, Hollywood just can't do that. So you end up with diversity and that nobody wants, and the swapped characters have to be Mary Sue. I always reference that book because it's sitting up on the shelf looking at me. So they have to be smarter, funnier, better looking, to the point of just embarrassing absurdity. Yeah, if you want examples, you can look at any commercial today where the smart POCs have to sit back and they watch the stupid people of the light just do the most ridiculous things. Oh no, my blonde neighbor cut down his tree on the Pox's new car. Aren't white people so silly? Except, they built the car, the house, the infrastructure, the roads, the neighborhood, the nation, and Europe. So it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's just kind of commercials today. I'm sure it's well intended and not just stochastic terrorism against the people of the light. Or the dumbest scene was in the original Black Panther movie, where they had to portray Shuri as smarter than all the other male scientists because she's POC and they're Euro. It was such obvious pandering, and it's weird that it doesn't catch more people's attention with that soft bigotry and lowered expectations. There's a scene where she thought of something, and the Bruce Banner and the other scientists go, "Oh, we just didn't think of that because we're European and we're male and we're just so dumb. We're just so silly, Billy. Thanks for straightening us out, Shuri." Yeah. Anyway, so you got Rings of Power, the most expensive show in history, and the viewership dropped like a rock. By the end of the first season, it was down to 37% because it's just woke cancer. Yikes, my guy. Anyone who uses woke is like not to be taken seriously. Be better, my istophobic friend. Touch grass. Finger vagina while going outside. Bad take, friendo. Just yikes. The passive aggressiveness of these soy boys is crazy. 300-pound guys who pay for clown sex are telling me to get laid. I get clown sex free. Amazon paid $750 million to ruin Rings of Power, and they're probably going to end up losing $500 million, and they really don't care. They're a huge company. It's just not a big deal to them. And no, they didn't learn any lessons from this first season. Now, the weird thing is, I guess they took the Wu Flu seriously because they decided to delay filming the next season. Most of us took it seriously for like 3 months, then started to smell a rat and look for the sabots in the gears, sabotage, and sincerely without wax. If you can name that book, you win the no prize. So the first season had diversity, which is cringe and didn't make any sense. Actually, is a pretty good example of the cringe diversity that doesn't make any sense. Hey, look, 3 different people from the 3 different parts of the world separated by 10,000 miles from each other, and yet they're all together. Well, they're actors. Shouldn't they look as if they fit together? No. So the Hobbit tribe is one people. It's modeled after the people of the UK. It's a tribe. They all have to look like they belong together. Then you enter the Afro Hobbit and the Afro Elves, and you ask, well, what the hell is going on? How is an Anglo Hobbit or an Irish Hobbit in the same clan as an Afro Hobbit? That doesn't make any sense. They don't look like they belong together, and yes, the SJWs hear that and they pop their tampons. How dare you say that people who don't look similar don't look similar? We're at the point in Sodom and Gomorrah where the truth is offensive to idiots. If you like Lord of the Rings and you say you like Rings of Power, then you're just flat out lying to virtue signal on social media because it's not Lord of the Rings. It's Hollywood jerking off on your face. The website The One Ring apparently is getting sucked off by Amazon. Translation, maybe paid under the table. I mean, that happens to give good reviews. They were once critical of Peter Jackson for leaving out a few scenes to keep the movies, just to like 3 hours in the original films 20 years ago. So they were critical about that little detail. Like, well, yeah, but we can't make the movies, 3 hours is long enough. It's like 2 time periods in a movie theater, and there's, an infrastructure thing going on. Like, people just have, they're not going to watch movies forever. But now they love Rings of Power, probably because they're either so woke that they don't see the problem. I mean, the Overton window has shifted pretty far for the left to the left, and for the right, it's shifting right a little bit. Or they might literally be paid for BS reviews. If you want to make a diversity cancer type of, bullshit found family propaganda garbage, just write a new fantasy story, and you can combine Chinese, Indians, Africans in a European fantasy setting if you want. It won't make sense, and nobody will watch it, but at least you won't be insulting the original story and insulting the audience. So this is the difference between woke propaganda and this Bolshevik garbage, where you compare it to an original organic story, which is tribal and national, where tribes are fighting for their people. In a diverse setting, there's nothing to sacrifice for. The person next to you isn't your blood. Nobody's going to fight for a commercial zone where Chase Bank America Shire fights the Google goblins, where for diversity's sake, both sides look exactly the same. So who's who? It's like, well, you're going to find out. So what's the point? So if you have a tribe of fair and dark hobbits and elves, why and how exactly are they together? Only Nazis ask questions. Yeah, but I'm asking because that's I'll say very dumb instead of the R slur. Anyway, so they make Sauron Indian, which is a tricky position for them because they were tempted to make him blonde hair, blue eyed, but maybe that was just a bit too on the nose for him. But this is the way the casting should work. I mean, sometimes they write themselves into a corner with wokeness and representation and the Bechdel test type of stuff, where they're putting human actors in characters that are way out of character for them, and they're expecting you to just accept it. It's like, oh, hey, look, this is, or like a real life African actor and an Irish actor and an English actor and an Indian and a Chinese all together. It's like they're all one tribe. Like, verisimilitude, only suspension of disbelief. No, this stuff only goes so far. The thing is, the easy way to make the casting work would be if the good guys were European and the bad guys were visibly different, Africans or Indians or Asians or something. So you can set up conflict lines of two very different, visibly different groups. Instead, you get this mess where everyone is just a LA diversity casting call and nothing makes sense. And, before the SJWs obviously lose their mind over that kind of stuff. But China movies do that, Indian movies do that. It just makes it visibly easier for Chinese movie. The bad guys are going to be coded European or something just to make them visibly different. It's only America that's controlled by these Hollywood people who have these insane Bolshevik ideas where everything has to be diverse. You're like, but you're sacrificing the story to push globalist propaganda, and they really don't care. So now what's going to happen when this comes out is the SGWs on Twitter will, of course, spurg out about perpetuating systemic systems of harmful media tropes of marginalized and oppressed peoples of diversity, and just all this other Frankfurt School nonsense that they get on social media to virtue signal about. Like, do they care? Do they believe any of it? I don't know. The problem with the blue checkmark system on Twitter, oddly enough, is now people are engagement farming like crazy. It's just a level of questions, like 2015 SGW, anti-SJW kind of stupid questions, or come on, man, do you like big boobs or small boobs or whatever kind of stupid questions to get people engaging with your channel so you can get that ad revenue from Twitter. Because once you have over a couple thousand subs and you have an engaging channel, you're going to make more from Twitter than you pay in the $8 a month. So people are asking these just kind of too stupid questions, which I don't know. That's one of the bummers of Twitter. I hope they get video live streaming. They've got Spaces now, which is awesome, but you got to get it monetized and video live streaming. It's like, well, you blow the doors off of YouTube. And hopefully a Twitter phone. That would be cool too. Anyway, so you ask them, do you literally want every good character to be brown and the bad characters to be European in the European story that the Englishman Tolkien wrote? Yes. They literally want to take the European story of good versus evil, and there's some Christian elements in there too, with the lembas bread is the Eucharist or something. I didn't even get that the first time I watched it. Or and they want to use it as propaganda against the people who made the story, the Englishmen coming out of England. Hey, Amazon, you could just write the story as written by Tolkien, since he's a master writer and you guys are not. Why would you think you could improve on it by updating it for the current year? Especially when nobody wants it updated, they want the original story. Because for Bolsheviks, there's no point in writing something just to sell something, even for economic interests. Everything to the point of them is to push propaganda. They're mask off. They're accelerating this kind of stuff, and I know some of you know what's going on. To the point where they will subsidize Hollywood to make propaganda, which is what Amazon is literally doing with this, because they're almost guaranteed to lose money on this show. People aren't going to suddenly turn around in season 2 if they're getting even more woke with it. So they knew the odds were good of them losing money to make this show, and they went ahead and made it anyway. Disney does that. Warner Brothers does that. Not enough people are stopping to ask why they're willing to do that. They really should, though. How can a cult be a $150 billion company, a multi-billion dollar company? You're saying they're like a cult-like behavior. Yeah, well, why wouldn't you think they would be a cult-like behavior? Like, literally a cult-like behavior. Like, Eyes Wide Shut might be a little bit LARPy, but you see some of the stuff they do behind the scenes. I mean, eventually you're going to have to start making connections. Like, some of the stuff is real. Is that too much for YouTube? I think I was curious. I did a version of this for Rumble and Odyssey where I slipped in I said some naughty things. They slipped out. So I put that on the other channels. Anyway, Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely join the Odyssey. Thanks to everyone who signed up over there. That is, I made the subscription as low as I can, but they won't let me go below $4, unfortunately, where YouTube goes below. Can take you down to $1. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next episode.